And he'll be going first. Also out of Arizona, a man who's been in this sport for 20 years, Jerry Pritchett.
Push your hands together, everyone.
This guy is a beast, 6'4", 370. And then out of Estonia, Hanno Heinla. 6'1", 301, won the Arnold competition in Australia. And then the youngest athlete at just 20 years of age, Matusz Ostaszewski. I saw that dude last night. He had like 7 Polish sausages. He was loving it. And next up out of Slovenia, Mariusz Belshak. We saw him go first in that truck pull. Now, we're going to introduce him. We had a little development. We mentioned it. He was battling an injury on that truck pull. Despite his remarkable pull, he pulled a hamstring. He's not going to be competing, but he deserves your respect because he's already qualified for the World Championships out of Quebec. Give it up for JF Caron! And next up, Jitse Kramer out of the Netherlands. And how about that eyewear? This man isn't just strong, he's got style. And then the man known as the Dragon, the man with the fire in his belly, out of the USA via Latvia, Martins Lesis. Martins! And finally, the man who we just saw won the truck pull with a time almost 2 seconds better than any other competitor. A man who may well be the future of this sport. Give it up for the 24-year-old Matusz Kaliszkowski! Ladies and gentlemen, these are your strongmen for today.
Now, Matt, before we let these guys go back and get warmed up, what I want to point out is it's really hard to tell truly how enormous they are. Now, when I walk up in front of these guys, I want you to realize I'm 6 feet, about 290. They're going to make me look like I'm some sort of a miniature. So check this out. Do you truly get a feel for how large these guys are? Like I said, just under 300 pounds and 6 foot. I look like I still have yet some growing to do. So these guys are truly, truly monsters, modern-day gladiators, ready to go to battle.
I got to be honest, I thought I saw Ostaszewski go for some mustard. He was going to put you in a bun and eat you. That dude looks hungry.
That's not surprising at all. I just look like dinner to these guys.
So here we go. We've got one contest down. Kaliszkowski took first place in that. Now we're moving on to the log press. These athletes, JF Caron is out. He's already earned his spot. Congratulations, sir. These 8 are going to be vying for this title today.
That's it. Literally, we've got tons of action for you today, guys. And the best part is, when they're not going full bore, we've got entertainment in between every one of these strongman events.
Non-stop action. So
Picture perfect day in Santa Monica, California as the Arnold Pro Strongman USA competition continues. Thanks for being with us, everybody, today. I'm Sean Woodland with Dr. Bill Crawford, and we are set for the second of 5 events today. It is the log press, and that is what awaits the athletes, 385 pounds.
The log press has to be one of the most difficult events that you can do, because you've got to clean the log each and every time, and that requires a lot of stamina as well as tremendous strength. We're ready to go, so we're getting out the first athlete. I believe they're warmed up. So you'll notice that when the athletes pick up the log, they'll reset themselves and turn their hands over, and they'll roll the log back. That gives it a little bit of kick and puts it into place. But unlike a barbell that's right under your chin, this log is out further from your chest.
Brian Clark will be up first. The order of this event is determined by the results from the prior event. Clark finished 9th in that last event, so he will lead things off, and that means the man who won the event, Mateusz Kieliszkowski, will go last, and that can be a huge advantage in an event like this.
Yes, absolutely. Kieliszkowski winning the event, and convincingly, that puts him in the driver's seat after the first event. And Mateusz is also, Kieliszkowski is also very good at the log press. He's had very good results in training, he told me.
Brian Clark needs to do very well in this event to make it for that 9th place finish in the fire engine pull.
Where you feel this event mostly, surprisingly, it's not in the shoulders. It's actually the abdominal muscles. Trying to support this weight over your head is getting it up to your chest each and every time. And after it gets overhead, you have to hold it, and that really gets your abdominal muscles.
They will not get credit for partial reps. A rep will only count once they have it locked out overhead. And they have 1 minute in which to get as many reps as possible. And Clark's still looking for his first press. He has it up, but he just can't support it.
No, not able to get it up. It's 385 pounds. And they're going for reps. Just 15 years ago, this was the absolute world's record in this event. Ravensburg Madison was the first to lift this 175-kilogram log. The crowd's really behind him.
And Clark will not be able to get 1 repetition. Again, he has to win this event in order to get to the Arnold Classic in March in Columbus, Ohio.
This just shows how heavy these implements are, that an athlete of this ability and strength has this much difficulty with this kind of implement.
Jerry Pritchett getting ready. Where did Clark really struggle on this?
Well, notice how he resets. He's just not able to get it up and over, get his hands to turn over. And believe it or not, you just want to get your wrist to pull back and up a little bit. Sometimes it helps to redouble your legs, to rebend your legs, but that's quite difficult with a log. So you really got to get those wrists active and get that log up to your chest quickly.
Jerry Pritchett, who often trains with Brian Clark, is up next. Pritchett in 8th place overall after that fire engine pull.
This experienced strongman really needs to come across with this event. He finds himself in a little bit of a hole. Getting an 8th place in the fire engine pull.
Pritchett looking at his first rep. And he can't press it overhead.
Got it up quickly.
And Pritchett is going to call it.
So he's withdrawing it.
So Jerry Pritchett is relatively safe as far as the Arnold Strongman Classic is concerned as we take a look at his one and only attempt here.
Well, that's right. There's not just, we've got 5 events. You don't want to shoot your wad early on and cost yourself.
So as you see, he was able to get the log up quickly to his chest. It looks like he had some separation from his chest, but just couldn't get the initial phase of the lockout. You want to get it past your nose, and from there you can start the second phase of a press. If you can't get it up to the past the chin and up to the nose fairly quickly, then it turns into much more of a struggle because then you've got the implement in front of you and it wants to dump forward.
Ronald Heinle will be up next. Heinle has already qualified for the Arnold Strongman Classic, and this event similar to one they will face in Columbus with the Austrian Oak, but that log 70 pounds heavier than what they're facing today.
Yeah, so notice he's really getting himself ready. Sometimes some of the athletes will actually cough out so they can expand their lungs. So when the log gets up to their chest, yes, first rep.
First rep good for Ronald Heinle, and he is now your event leader.
Now notice how when he gets it to his lap, he bends over into the log a little bit and then rolls it back quickly.
Two down for Heinle.
So you have to have the weight overhead, stabilize at arm's length with feet stable before they give you the down.
Heinle going for three.
Oh, not quite able to get it stabilized. Did get it past his face, but it wasn't on the way back.
So still 2 reps for Ronald Heinle.
15 seconds to dig deep, get that third repetition. Every rep counts.
And just can't lock it out, but an impressive performance for Ronald Heinle, the 6-time Estonia's strongest man, who started weightlifting and powerlifting when he was just 10 years old.
That was a great effort. You notice that the attempts that he actually got the implement overhead and locked out, he got it over his face quickly. And the times that he didn't get over his face quickly, it actually then fell forward. And that's one of the technical points with a log. You want that momentum to go backwards, just a bit over the face. And that lines you up in line with the body and helps your leverages so that you can get the implement overhead.
Matthews Ostaszewski up next. 6th place after the first event, trying to get back to the Arnold Strongman Classic for the 2nd time in his career. Last year he finished 10th.
Already on the world stage. Truly amazing. Well, he won the Arnold Amateur in 2017. Here we go, it's up. And there's the clean. Now it's all that overhead. And look at how awkward that head position is. Oh, clearly he saw something in his shoulder. He felt that.
And not able to lock out the press. So Ostaszewski shaking out his right arm, and he's not going to make another attempt. And Ostaszewski is in the same boat as Brian Clark. He has got to win this entire competition in order to get himself to the Arnold Strongman Classic.
So I think he had somewhat of a shoulder issue. He really wasn't able to get it up. Sometimes when an athlete grabs the front of their shoulder area like that, when pulling up a heavy implement like this, like a log press, it's sometimes the proximal attachment of their bicep. It's not truly their shoulder.
Keep an eye on Ostaszewski.
Yes, this is a tremendous amount of strain on your biceps and your forearms as you pull the implement up.
Matej Belšak out of Slovenia up next. Last year, 6th overall at the Arnold Strongman Classic. And he is one of the 3 men who is tied for the lead in the points standings. Those points based on where you finished in the other qualifying events.
This beautiful implement, the Slater log. Very balanced implement.
There we go. No problem for Belšak to his shoulders. And the press looks relatively easy.
Very good.
So 1 down.
Very good. The 2 components, getting it to his chest and then getting it over his face to complete the press. Both went very efficiently. We also noticed that he's getting some hips and thighs into the second phase of the lift.
Ronald Heinle is the man who has the repetitions to beat, and now Belšak is tied with Heinle.
A small, quick dip with the legs. You can't dip too much, and then you're leaning forward too much.
The crowd behind Belšak as he looks to take the event lead. This is his 3rd attempt. And like Heinle, he just cannot make that third lift. So he and Heinle tied for first place. Great performance from Matej Belshak.
Fantastic performance. You can tell these athletes are really trained on this implement. Very heavy implement. It's a little bit longer than typically you'll find with the log press. Here's the second rep. Notice he keeps that form where he has a little bit of a leg drive, gets it over the face, and now he can lock it out. And that's a tremendous amount of pressure when it gets over your head.
Here's Jits Kramer out of the Netherlands. Third place after one event. Kramer needs to work himself to the top of the overall leaderboard, but one of the men who needs to win the whole competition to get in. Has never been to the Arnold Strongman Classic, looking for his first career appearance in Columbus. He's going to need 3 reps in order to win this event.
Oh, he couldn't get the clean.
He's going to bow out.
Yes. He's a very tall athlete, and sometimes the taller athletes can have difficulty with these implements as they start out.
Well, like Kramer just couldn't figure this thing out.
Yes, he does dip down, but he just doesn't have the coordination of the effort from his thighs with his arms to get it up to his chest. It's not just pure strength; it's also a matter of how efficient you are from one phase to the next.
There's Martins Licis.
Licis is very strong overhead. He told me he's had a very good training cycle and is very motivated to win today.
Yeah, grew up in Latvia before he moved to California when he was 20 years old, and he used to train by lifting stones at his grandparents' farm, and he has the log shouldered, but now struggling with his first press.
He needs to get over his face and back over the head. We got a repetition.
At least he sticks with it, and 1 is down. No man has gotten more than 2. Matej Belshak and Ronald Heinle, the 2 men who have completed 2 successful lifts.
There he goes, second clean. Much more efficient with the clean.
And Licis can't get the second press.
Very close.
You got to wonder how much those first 2 attempts took out of him on his first rep.
That's exactly right. You only have so much time. If you'll notice, he did have the turnover of the wrist. Got it quickly and efficiently to his chest. A quick dip, but just can't get the implement back over his face.
But that's the difference between 2 inches and not. That judge will not give credit unless it's locked out. Well, we have talked about this guy.
And there he gets it back over his face. He's able to get leverage and get under the implement.
1 good rep for Martins Licis, a man who has already qualified for the Arnold Classic. And here comes your current leader after 1 event, Maciej Kieliszkowski, out of Poland.
Getting some last-second instruction from the head judge.
Needs 3 reps to win the event, 2 to tie for first. And right now, Jerry Pritchett and Matej Belshak are cheering for this man, because if Kieliszkowski wins this event, both Belshak and Pritchett are the other 2 men to qualify for the Arnold Strongman Classic.
He's quite good with his overhead. He told me so.
Oh, give me a break. Wow. That is too easy.
Unbelievable.
Kieliszkowski.
Unbelievable.
Someone check that log and make sure it's the same one the other guys were using. 1 rep down for Kieliszkowski, and he has plenty more in the tank. And there is 2.
So just like with putting a big stone on your shoulder, he's a very explosive athlete. He doesn't need to regroup. He just takes it straight from the lap and straight overhead.
This for the event win. Two events, 2 wins for Kieliszkowski.
Wow. That puts him in the driver's seat.
He is on a tear in Santa Monica.
That puts him in the driver's seat, no question about it. I'll have to say, just like last year with the stone press, I have not seen this quite. I've never seen a log that size handled in that way.
I mean, no pause. Now, this is his third rep. He's tired here. This looks better than some of the guys that we saw in their first rep.
Absolutely. And still stuck with that style of going straight from the lap overhead. That is unbelievable. So he's done two things in the last calendar year, within the last year that I've never seen elsewhere. Fantastic effort.
Hiller continues to look very impressive here at the Arnold Pro Strongman World Series USA, as he has won 2 of the 5 events so far. And that is good news for both Maciej Belczak and Jerry Pritchett. Ronald Heinle and Belczak each get 2, and Martins Liss is the only other man to successfully lift that log, as 5 men are unable to complete a repetition. JF Carone has withdrawn from the competition. He has a hamstring issue, and not a problem for Carone right now because he has already qualified.